I have not been able to do really creative stuff lately, you know, like being able to paint furniture, build things, and it's really because I have no space. Everything is just, I've got to step over things like this just to get around all my tools and materials. So in today's video, we are actually teaming up with the Home Depot, and we are going to be using some of their cool tools, which I'll be telling you about as part of the Home Depot Prospective program that I'm a part of, which is cool. But we're also going to be taking this garage and ripping it apart. I'm telling you, I cannot live like this any longer. I cannot be creative surrounded by junk. So you know what? We're going to do this right now. So you have to understand, my garage is everything. It's where I do my videos. It's where I store everything. And it's gotten to the point, guys, where I just can't walk in here. The problem is, number one, I can't find anything. Number two, I'm buying multiples of things because I can't find what's hidden underneath the piles. And number three, it's become a tripping hazard. It's not safe. So if you're like me, your garage probably looks similar to this, if not worse. And so this is the time where we need to clean this up. And one of the things that you had been telling me is, Serena, we think you need to be teaming up with the Home Depot. Your videos are great. Well, thank you for that. And I think they heard you because, like I mentioned at the start of this video, I've been teaming up with the Home Depot doing a program called the Home Depot Prospective. It's basically where myself and other bloggers get together with Home Depot, and they send us some of our favorite tools to use in our projects and tell you a little bit about them and how they might help you too. So this is the first product that I actually received, and I'm really excited to receive this platform. This is by Werner. It's a pro platform. And I have a platform, but the problem is that it does not lock securely like this one. And I have to admit that for the first year or two, I didn't realize that it even locked. But this one, you notice, as soon as you open the legs, it locks. We need this for climbing up and cleaning out some of this clutter. And we're also going to be using this Husky tote. It's 45 gallons. It's going to be able to hold a lot of stuff. Now, the first thing that I have to tell you, whenever you're trying to clean a garage out, just literally take everything out. Now, I know that this can be overwhelming, especially if you've got a 2-car garage and there's 2 sides. So you can either take everything out or you can move everything from one side over to the other side. Now, I decided to take everything out. And as I was taking things out, just cleaning up, vacuuming. So you might want to have a nice wet dry vac. Maybe a nice coat of white paint on here. I like it. Beautiful oil painting of the ocean. That's a keeper. And that thing was only $10 from the thrift store, so we need to get that up on the wall in the basement. Anyway, I continued with the clean out, and this part is where it was getting challenging. By this point, it was about 2 o'clock, and there was no more space in the driveway. You'll see in just a minute, there was no more space. So I needed to figure out, how was I going to get all of this stuff out? You see it's 2 o'clock around this time, before sundown. Because by 9 o'clock, you can't leave all this stuff in the driveway. So I was racing against time. Thankfully, I was able to just put things into containers. You'll notice here that I am using the storage tote that I just mentioned to you, the Husky storage tote. What I liked about it is that it had wheels. So I could stack this thing multiple times and then just wheel it out into the driveway. And that was really the easiest way for me to get things out. And then I would try to sort through and put them in the prospective pile. So if it was tools, I'd put it there. If it was gardening, I'd put it there. So definitely create your piles. And if you can, try to have multiple ones of these, because it makes it easy for, if you're not able to get this done in one day, you can just move everything back in the storage totes. So the first part that was hard was moving everything out. The second part was actually cleaning everything. Now all the cracks and crevices could be vacuumed. So make sure you have a good wet dry vac. Now I do have to say, I loved this platform. I was doing this myself, so I needed to make sure it wasn't going to slip from underneath of me and that I would be able to get up high. My husband, he's like, look, you created this mess. You gonna finish it yourself. So I can't blame him. It is my mess, and I was totally willing to clean it up. One thing I liked about this platform is that it was a large deck. So I could walk around on this. It was just under 4 feet. It was 45 inches long and 12 inches wide. So I could step around on it and not feel like it was going to slip. I could easily grab it by the handle and move it from place to place. And it's not going to mess up the floor because it has some rubber grip on the bottom. So I moved in the workbenches so that I could put my containers of water there. And as I started cleaning the shelves, I thought, you know what? this would be a great time to actually paint these. Trust me, that was not in my plan of cleaning this garage up. I thought I was just going to clean it up and that's it. But no, I decided to get my paint sprayer and paint these shelves and the wall behind the shelves. And my husband's like, well, why are you doing that? No one's going to see it. But in my opinion, I can see it. And if I can see it, it's going to bother me. And you can see the wall behind there is like an almond colored. It's just, the shelves I painted the front of the shelves maybe a couple of years ago, but you can see the right-hand side has been sprayed and the left-hand side had not. And it's a big difference. So I decided to go ahead and keep going. The sun was going to be going down soon, but I really wanted to make sure that I did everything that I could to just freshen up this garage. This is my workspace. I spend a lot of time out here. So why not have it be pretty? The paint that I used was a semi-gloss white paint. I believe it's the Ultra White. And it probably took about 2 coats. I really didn't try to make it perfect, but you see that it looks much better. I still need to fill the nail holes on the front of the shelves, but for now, I don't mind. Anyway, by this point, it's 7 o'clock and I decide, okay, let's see if I can spray the ceiling. It didn't work too well, so I just decided to scrap that idea. We'll paint it in another day, and then we're just going to try to move in as much stuff as we can. So I made progress with side 1. Well, now it was time for side 2, and I moved out the workbenches. This one was pretty heavy. Turned on some music, and it was time to get started with moving everything out. And what's really funny is the look on my husband's face, because if you know him, you would know that that look is, what are you doing? Why are you making this so difficult for yourself? But day 2 was a matter of just pulling everything out of the other side, creating piles that needed to either go to the dump, be donated, and yeah, even after day 2, I still had a lot to do. Well, it's day 3 of the garage clean out, and I still feel like even though it's clean, there's not enough space for everything. There's just too much stuff and I don't know where to put everything. So I've got things in containers. I literally just took as much stuff as I could and I just shoved it into containers. And now is going to be the hard part. We actually have to sort through each of these containers and figure out where everything is going to go. I'll be happy when this project is over. So I think I'm going to start over here, and I think the method I'm going to use is I'm just going to, oh gosh, what am I going to do? There's a lot of stuff here. I've got tons of batteries, levels. I think I've got probably at least 3 or 4 levels. I've got things that I bought that I never even opened. This is a circular saw track for making straight cuts, never even opened it. Yeah, this is overwhelming. I guess we just have to dig in and get started. Let's do it. One of the most important areas of my garage is the workbench. This is where all my tools are stored, and I wanted to have a place to easily hang up my clamps, my levels. So think about that when you're organizing your garage. What are the things that you use most often, and how can you use every inch of space? So I bought this really nice T-square a couple of years ago, and instead of having it just thrown aside, I decided to hang it up, and now I can just grab it whenever I need it. And I finished off the day with going through some of the small little odds and ends that were on the workbench, and I'll show you in a little bit what I did to store all the small things. Well, by this point, it was day 4. I've got this really nice shelf above the other workbench off to the right-hand side in the back, and I decided to vacuum everything out, clean it, and have this be a place where I can store large sheets of wood. It was a little difficult getting it up there. This is red oak. It's a little bit heavier. And so I just had to be very careful with that, but it was perfect. Now, my grandfather had passed away several years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And so I wanted to store his Sawzall and a couple of other things that I'm not using at the time. And the tote was perfect. And I was going to store this underneath of the workbench. It's large, it's big. It doesn't fit on the built-in storage that I have, but underneath of the workbench was perfect. And then we were on day 5. Now, number 1, I hate painting ceilings. Number 2, you see how dirty and dingy it was, so it had to be done. And number 3, that lighting was horrific. I had a really hard time videoing in the garage, seeing what I was doing because the lighting was so bad. So I decided to get some LED lights, hang them up. Now, I didn't want to pay someone to hardwire anything. So just by adding a few anchors, some chains, voila, we have some natural daylight. And the third product that I got from the Home Depot is this Husky Truck Box. Now, what I like about it is that I can easily put everything in here that I need for furniture painting class. I do that maybe once or twice per year. So right now I'm not doing classes and I can just put my manuals for all my tools in here. But when I'm taking this to class, I can put registration, handouts, anything that I'm taking a class to give to students. And it's got a lot of pockets around the side. So I can put water, I can clip on my measuring tape, and anything that I need to put in the inside, like tools, there's enough space to fit. Now you can actually lock this zipper. I don't need to here in the garage, but I do like the option. And the top is molded. So put your pen down, your pencil, your tablet, nothing is going to fall off. Now, if you can, when you've got small things like hardware, knobs, screws, nails, try to put those into little container bins. I picked these up from the thrift store for just a few dollars, and now I've got all my staples in there and all my rivets. Okay, so once everything was cleaned up, it was time to put the platform away. Everything was organized, and I decided because it folds flat, I'm able to put it right there by my workbench, and you'll see I've got a nail that's holding it in place. And just to show you what my garage looked like in 2010 on the left compared to what it looks like as of yesterday, it looks fantastic. And there's still more projects I need to do. I need to build a shed and get some of this garden stuff out. But for now, I'm happy with this. So I can't begin to tell you how good it feels in this garage. I know I've got more things to do. I know it doesn't look like the cover of an HGTV magazine or Woodshop Workshop magazine. Woodshop Workshop, I don't even know if that's a magazine, but I know that it feels wonderful out here. When I come out here to do a project, I don't have to search for things. I don't have to step over things. I can go here and find what I'm looking for. Everything is grouped together and it feels so good. So this is only the first phase. There's more work that needs to be done out here. There's more decluttering because I have way too many tools and materials, but this is how life is. No space is going to be perfect. You just have to start. And I started. So I'm going to challenge you to get started on your garage. Find that place where you want to be creative and then tackle it. Move everything out, go through, organize, put things into containers, and you too can have an amazing functional space. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe because I'm going to be doing more projects here in the garage and you don't want to miss those. And we do furniture makeovers, we paint furniture, we upcycle, we repurpose, and you can find all those down below in my project gallery, which you can find on thriftdiving.com. I will see you next video. Thank you for watching and subscribe, hit that little bell because you don't want to miss what we're doing here at Thrift Diving.